Hi, happy Sunday, and welcome to another episode of Mike's Laboratory, starring me, your host, Medic Mike, where we put all the Joes back on duty, and if it ain't good enough for your shelf or my shelf, it ain't good enough for yours. Today, I thought I would show you guys how I make my restringing kits. They're real similar to Cotswold kits, based on Cotswold kits, obviously, and I'll show you how to do that. I've got a couple other little things to show you and a really cool announcement to make as well. So, without further ado, let's rock and roll, shall we? Okay, we are back. I got my materials out here, and let's get this camera flipped around so we can get right to it. Okay, this is what you need. First of all, you need, well, you don't need the beer, but the beer is nice to have. Okay, this is the stuff that I use. I got this on Amazon. I compared it to a Cotswold kit. This is pretty much the same diameter and amount of stretchiness and stuff. I damned if I can remember the cost, but there's 66 feet of it on here, and I bought 2 of these. Enough to do plenty of Joes. Need a razor blade or something to cut your elastic with. Electrical terminals. These are, hang on, let me grab the label from the box. I'll show you that instead. That way you'll know exactly what I got. Of course, I threw all the boxes in the garbage. Give me one sec here, guys. Okay, here we go. I get these at Ace Hardware, and they work pretty good. They're copper tinned with some other type of metal, and you can see the size. They're pretty thick. They work pretty good. Anyhow, and you'll also need your arm and neck hooks. You can make these kits and get the hooks on afterwards, but it's easier if you put them on the elastic as you're putting them together. Okay, tools needed. Handy dandy pair of miniature channel locks, pair of wire cutters, little ones like this, and handy dandy miniature needle nose pliers. These 3 tools right here I probably use while fixing this stuff more than anything else. Okay, so without further ado, let's begin. I'm going to give you the lengths right away. I have them marked here on the edge of my cutting board. Sorry, they're upside down. I had to flip the cutting board. The other side got too banged up to read them. Right where it says R there, that just means regular length. As you can see, it's just a hair over 3/8 of an inch long, or 4 3/8 of an inch long. The arm elastic is 3 inches. This other mark here is for the length for talker elastic that I find works best. Okay, so obviously to begin, you just go ahead, take your elastic, and let me get this set. You can see what I'm doing here. Well, this is pretty self-explanatory too. Let's see here. Let me make it look like that. Let me make it on there. Yeah, how about that? Okay. First thing I do is I burn the end of the elastic so it's flat, so I get accurate measurement. And just roll out a little bit of it. Hold it down at the end of the measuring. Pin it down good right there. Cut her off. Take a little bit more. Burn the end again. Roll it out to the edge. Put her on a 3. For the arm elastic right here. Okay, bingo. And we'll just go ahead and burn the other end here. And the other end. Okay. Now we got our 2 pieces of elastic. Next step's pretty simple. Again, this is how I do it, whatever works best for you. I take my channel locks, grab it in there, pull that plastic piece off. I hung on to a bunch of these. These could be useful for something, but I'm not sure if anything yet. And just tweak open this part where you would put the wire if you were using it, what they're designed for. I've got to figure out a better system for doing this. This is kind of a pain in the tail trying to do this with the camera in the way. I think I've complained about that before. Okay. Next step, pretty easy. Take your elastic. What I usually do is I'll go ahead and do one end and then with the connector here. And then I'll slide the hook on and I'll start putting the jewel together. And then I'll pull the bare end of the elastic out the other side of him. And then put the connector on. For the purposes of the video, I'm just going to show you this. These are, or show you this way, I should say. These connectors are they're a little large for the hip balls. They will slide through the holes, but it's a tight fit. That's why I do it that way. Okay. You can get the hook on, as I said before, without, after you put the terminal on, you can see they will fit over, but it's a tight one. So for the purposes of the video, we're just going to show you how I hook all this stuff up. You can decide what works best for you with putting the hooks on. And again, crimp it down nice and hard. And your body or your neck to thigh elastic is done. Give it a good pull, make sure that it ain't going to pull out. I like to squish them down pretty good. Okay. The cutters I use for when I put these around the figure's thigh rivets, I don't bother removing thigh rivets. I just clip it right here, bend it out with my hand, and then use this pair of pliers to reach down in there into the thigh and grab the end and pull it up and squish it shut. Seems to work just fine. I've never had one come apart yet. For these, the arm, you want to slide your arm hooks on there first. Like so. I take a tie wrap, and I'm not going to do this because I don't want to burn a tie wrap. But you put it through. I've never measured this. I just kind of guesstimate this part of it. Put it right about there and leave the ends even. That's how I do it. Like that, and about that much. Then when you zap that zip tie down, you got a nice pretty tight piece of elastic, and then I will trim the ends off a little bit, not too much because you don't want it to pull out. When you zap your zip tie down, you'll find that this end, when you're pulling it through the figure's torso, is a bit of a pain. And the way I handle that is with the zip tie tight. You know what? Just for you guys, because I like you, my subscribers, and you guys all so well, I'll sacrifice a zip tie. Not like they're expensive. So after you put the arm hooks on, you go like that. And I said about that much. Zorch that sucker down tight. Oops, wrong one. And I usually go the extra length of grabbing, pulling a little tighter clip it off, leave a little bit of end in case, a little bit hanging off in case it does slip. Okay, so once you have this piece and you got your arm hooks on there and it's pulling it apart, you'll find that this piece here needs to go into the shoulder hole first. Let me get a torso, I'll show you. I had a torso around here somewhere. There's one. Okay. All right. So as you're pulling it through, you got your tool sticking out and you got your hook on there and you're pulling it through. You want to get the I don't know what you call that part of the zip tie, but the big fat bulky end of the zip tie to go through there first. That way it'll pop through pretty easy. If you try getting part of it through like this, you get it in there like that, and then you try and pull it through, and you run into this, and it's tougher to get it through there. So position it when you're first coming through to pop that zip tie through there first. Simple enough? Okay. Anyhow, that's basically how I make these kits. As I said, I got the elastic on Amazon, and I get the connectors from Ace Hardware. I'm sure that you could find these somewhere else. I did try buying a bunch of them from Amazon, but either these are cheaper quality or I goofed when I hit the buy button. They're marked the same size, as you can see. 12 to 10. And as you can also see, the stud hole's a little bit bigger, so I'm not sure if I goofed or what. But the thing that bothers me is that these are made out of a lot thinner metal, as you can see. Not sure if they would hold up anywhere near as well as these ones. So anyhow, just for the record, anybody want to buy a bag of terminals? Okay, good for that. Hold one sec, I'll be right back. Okay, next thing I wanted to show you today, some things that I've had laying around for a while, and I've used them a bit, and these are really cool and useful things. All right, I got these at excuse me, at Office Depot. Really useful box. This one here is a different brand, but as you can see, they're essentially the same. I bought a whole bunch of them in a couple of different sizes. These things make great equipment chests. How did I get water on there? Okay. All right. Anyhow, I just took one of these and I painted it up and added some Adventure Team symbols. Makes a very nice gear chest. Looks cool. These bigger ones I found are even cooler for something else. And this is what I did with one of those. I have to figure out a way to get this to stay on better. I used glue stick, but it didn't want to stick very well. Anyhow, and for that, I made like a case, equipment case for a thermal terrain scanner. Pretty cool, huh? Whoops, I'll show you. There's some foam in there. I just kind of cut out the foam to approximate the shape. These are kind of an experiment. I think what I'll probably wind up doing is, cutting the foam out a little more exacting to fit the contours of the piece and stuff. But anyhow, pretty cool. I may go ahead and paint some of these and paint these as well, rather than using the tape and the label. That might look better that way too. But anyhow, pretty good idea, I thought, for myself. Here's another one that I popped out quick for experimental purposes. It fits the pieces in there. And I said, again, you can make this much cooler by going ahead and just cutting out something more in a simple rectangle into foam to fit around the pieces more precisely, and it would look really neat. Anyhow, it's a little project for some of you guys to think about, eh? This one's another one in progress for laser rescue. Could probably make one for each of those, you know, each of those equipment card pieces. That would be cool as well. Anyway, really useful boxes. Get them at Office Depot. I make some pretty good equipment boxes for Joe. I like them. They're cool. Okay, next up. As you may recall in another video, recently I got some 3D pieces from Sam Burchett, the rifle barrels, and I installed one and turned out pretty darn good, I think. I used to use the old pin vise trick, and I think I will probably fill in a little bit in here with something. So it didn't quite get the hole deep enough, I don't think. But all in all, I think that looks pretty damn good. And the bayonets slide right on there really nice. Young Sam is making a splash into 3D printing. He's doing pretty well. I like it. The usual 3D printing thing, you got to clean up the flash and stuff like that. Sand them a little bit to get rid of some of those lines from the printing process. But all in all, pretty damn good. This young man is kicking ass on this stuff. One more thing that he made up that I bought. This rifle rack. These are kind of based on the vintage design, it looks to me, but he modified them. Kind of cool. So that they would be fit side to side like this or back to back like this. Yeah, as I said, not too terrible. I like them. I'm going to probably maybe mod them a little bit, I think. But yeah, not bad. Again, another good job by Sam Burchett. I really like his work. He's doing some good things. And whenever he comes up to money for the talking astronaut he wants to buy it from me, I'll send him a machete so he can go ahead and 3D print up some machetes. You hear me out there, buddy? Yeah. Okay. All right, next thing I want to show you is Barbie stuff, believe it or not. Yep, that's right. As we all know, Barbie is the same 1/6 scale as G.I. Joe, more or less. And a while back, I bought one of the Barbie You Can Be Anything sets. This one happens to be the science set. And as you can see, it comes with some neat stuff. Got a table there. There's a rack that goes on top up here that holds, you got a Bunsen burner that fits in here. Whoops, damn it. You got a Bunsen burner that fits in there. And a little rack that goes on top of it. You can heat up your flask of whatever you're doing. These holes here fit some of the stuff. There's a rack on the back there that holds more of these other little flasks and stuff that came with it. But I got that getting painted right now to get rid of the pinkness. Came with a stool, a laptop, and actually this stuff I got here in this bin is parts of 2 sets. There's also a teacher set. That's where the globe came from in the second laptop. But anyhow, a little bit of paint application. And you got yourself some cool G.I. Joe stuff as well. Little microscope is really neat. I thought that was the coolest part of the set, actually. And also at Hobby Lobby, I found this set of these little bottles, which are pretty much 1/6 scale size, which would fit in pretty well with a laboratory theme thing, I thought. Anyhow, Barbie stuff can be made useful. And I think that when I get done, you can see that used to be all pink, not no more. So anyhow, that'll look pretty slick when it's done. No doubt. All right. Oh, hold on one sec. We will be right back. Okay. One more thing that I wanted to show you that I forgot about. I've been messing around with this a little bit lately too. Whoa, don't do that. Damn camera. Give me a sec here. Let's make this stay put. There we go. Okay, this is just a can from a vegetable can from the store. I was experimenting around with making fuel cans and stuff out of these. Not too shabby. Again, experimental. Got to do a little more work on the paint and stuff. I'd probably clear coat them or something. Make some stickers to go on them. There was another dude, I cannot remember who the hell it was off the top of my hand, that was making some really cool cans like this. But he had like a little meter on there and a hose and everything with a nozzle. And stickers saying like Adventure Team Fuel Can or something like that. Anyhow, that's where I got the idea, and it was such a simple and easy idea that I figured I'd give it a shot myself. Needs more work, but it's something I'm playing around with that I hope to come up with some nice ones in the future. If anybody who's the originator of this idea, I'll give you credit right now. I just don't remember who the hell you are. But anyway, this is a good idea, whoever you are. Okay, I guess that's about it for the stuff I wanted to show. Now I have an announcement to make. Hold on one sec, please. Okay. All right. Several other things that have been happening lately. I was invited to be on Paul Knapp's Live from the Man Cave show tomorrow night. So I hope you guys can take a moment and check it out. It sounds like it's going to be a blast. He's on episode like 15 or 16 now, I think. I don't remember, sorry. But if you go to Paul Knapp's channel, he has them on there, and you can watch the other episodes. And they've had some pretty interesting people on there. I watched the first one. The first one that I watched was the one where he had Sam Burchett and Gage Messer on there. And I went back and watched some of the other episodes. Pretty good. Good stuff. Entertaining and informative. And it's good to, see the faces and hear the voices that you see on Facebook. Matter of fact, I had a friend of mine, another guy, who asked me to do some heads for him. He says, and I showed him my YouTube channel because I couldn't remember if he knew about it. And he says, yeah, I watched that guy's stuff before. I just didn't know it was you. Anyhow, I'm also in the process of going through my collection and cleaning things up, fixing things up, cataloging everything. As you can see around here, this ain't even my collection room. This is just my workshop. But it's like, holy crap, I mean, I got, it flipped at me. I got, this customer stuff over here that I'm working on, and I got those 21st century vehicles over there, and all of this stuff. And anyhow, I'm going to be clearing out the extras that I don't need, and that'll be happening over the summertime. So I'll announce when I'm starting to, sell stuff off on the channel. And I'll give you guys and the guys on Facebook, which is like a lot of you are one and the same, first shot at this stuff. I don't mess with eBay. I usually just, if I want to sell something, I usually just go on, go into groups and offer it up. Anyhow, so I'm going to be on that Live from the Man Cave show tomorrow night, and that is at, is it 8 o'clock? Yeah, 8 o'clock, excuse me, Eastern Time, 7 o'clock Central. Sounds like it's going to be a blast. Tune in if you can and check it out. The guys in the AO8, Axis of Awesome, they call themselves. I know a couple of them for a while. They're pretty decent dudes, and they do a lot of really cool custom stuff. Okay, let's see. Who else do I need? Oh, shameless plugs too. Buy stuff from Jeremy Milford at Pawtucket Platoon. Great Joes, custom Joes at great prices. Fixed by me, flocked by me, and Jeremy puts them together into really cool custom and vintage sets and sells them, and they're great. Good stuff. Oh, let's see. Who else? Man, nobody else today. All right, anyhow, guys, time to go eat. Time to go finish this up. Y'all have a great weekend. Be safe. Have fun. And we'll see you next time on another episode of Mike's Laboratory.